Hi, I'm Babitha and I'm here chatting with Milky. So I grew up out near Orange, and we had lots of family friends who were musicians and would come around for dinner, and all the guitars would come out, and Mum had a big percussion box. So we're always surrounded by music, and I learned guitar at school and joined a few of the choirs at school, but it never really progressed beyond that. As I got into my 20s, I moved to Sydney to study design. Through that, got into photography and music videos, and I started working with a lot of musicians and bands, and got into club photography for a little bit. And so I was in the music world, but from this kind of capturing perspective, never as a performer. And it wasn't until some friends and I got really into karaoke, and every Friday night we'd go to the Covent Garden Hotel in Chinatown, and I just loved it. I fell in love with singing and performing. I was like, yep, this is what I want to do. So shout out to Covent Garden for lighting that fire. So some of the themes in the new album, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of cynicism, big neg emotions. The songs are written over a pretty turbulent time in my life, lots of big life changes. Also, throw in the pandemic in the middle of that. So I think there are a lot of these internal and then external forces at play. So I think the songs, definitely tap into a lot of that really raw emotion. Listening back through it now, there's this real element of hope and positivity that kind of sings out, which is nice. And I think a lot of the songs play around in different genres and styles, so it's not all doom and gloom. So I've always been interested in a lot of albums from the late 60s and 70s and capturing kind of that live band sound. This time was my first time recording in a music studio, and we tried to set up the band and get the sound right before we started recording so that we could capture a lot of that live energy. Obviously, we dubbed in a few of the other instruments afterwards, but I think playing together as a band, you kind of lock into this particular groove, and you really find a sense of what the character of the song is. And I really love when that happens, because you can't really plan it. It just happens. We're all in there, just practice the songs a bunch of times, and then just tried to record it in one go. I like not recording to a metronome, but we did it on a couple of songs, which makes editing a lot easier. But I think I'm always up for the challenge. Like, see if you can get it in one take, that's great. For writing the songs, a lot of them start out as fragments and rough ideas, and then through, quite often when I'm traveling, like walking around on a bus, on a train, I feel like they develop a lot more there, and they kind of come to me rather than, I really struggle at sitting down at a desk and like trying to, I never go in and I'm like, okay, today I'm going to make the chorus, or today I'm going to do the verse. I just let it happen as it goes and try not to put too much pressure on it. I really value the idea of letting the creative process be the down times and the active times, and just letting it kind of come to you as it's when it's ready. I think after years of creating visual identities for other artists, I knew the importance of it, but I really struggled initially trying to find my own look and aesthetic, and I feel like you really want to avoid putting yourself in a box, or so I did struggle initially, but then I feel like naturally your own visual tone comes through in whatever work you're making. So I just kind of started, and it's just gradually grown from there, and I try and just have fun with it, and I'm like, oh, I'm liking this font at the moment, so I'll do that. And it's nice how my work in design and film has influenced what I do now for Babitha's stuff. It's just another way to develop the project, I guess, and play around with video concepts and see how far we can kind of extend the project. All right, I reckon first one, probably Only Fair. It's got a real Chris Isaak vibe. I feel like if you just listen to it while you're walking down the street, you'd feel like a badass. So probably that one. And the next one would be a song called Ants. It's a little bit different, but I feel like it's showing this other side that I've been playing around with. Lots of vocal layers and harmonies, and just a totally different kind of sonic realm. I'd really like people to listen to Lost in a Daze. It's a really kind of sad, quiet, piano ballady style song. I feel like that's probably the most emotional song on the album. So if people want to have a good cry, I recommend Lost in a Daze. So the title of the album, Brighter Side of Blue, it's speaking to this idea that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's touching on this, the idea of being blue, the depression, and the silver lining that can come, that's always there. Because the album was written over a time that impacted the world so much, I quite like it as a message to all of humanity, like there is a brighter side. Hopefully it can kind of instill a bit of positivity. So at a Babitha live show, there's always a couple of ring-ins. I like that it's an ever-evolving band. Sometimes I've got backup singers, sometimes I've got pedal steel. It's got a really fun friends coming together energy, and I really hope to create that vibe in the room, that it's just like a big party, but a place where you can sit and reflect if you want to, or get up and have a dance. There's something for everyone. Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Chrissy Hine, Nick Cave, Dolly Parton. Probably Sweetheart of the Rodeo? Mad Max. What key is this in? Oh, both. Can't pick. Probably that joy to the world, all the boys and girls. The Wiggles. The Wiggles. Spice Girl. Mild Spice. Oh, I'd like to play in a little Parisian countryside town, maybe like a chateau or something, where there's lots of old locals around drinking coffee and wine. I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. I think the big band brass version of Sexual Healing. Flume? He was a game changer. Keep having fun. Don't take things to heart. And practice guitar more often. I think it was probably the first gig where people were dancing. That was special.